Robert having made a decision, the young man aspiring to become a Cub Scout. Gary recalling his venture into scouting, according a benediction, but also remembering the encumbrance of attendance and participation, sometimes not always a convenience when other contingencies presented themselves to a 9-year-old. The attire of a uniform always presenting a presentation of self-esteem regardless of the person's perspective. The Kiowa Den meetings being embraced in the Scout Hut. The hut located across the street from the grade school on 10th Street. The upstairs utilized by the older Boy Scouts, the basement pavilion relegated for the younger Cubs. Keith Hoffman, a diesel mechanic at Kiowa service abiding in lieu of a den mother. Tinctured as a den father, his son, Kenny, the same age as Robert. Gary having volunteered as assistant den luminary. The young cadre ready to accomplishing the Cub Regiment of Scouting beginning with the rank of Bobcat, followed by attaining the requirements in the Wolf and Bear manuals, and the final accolade, a Weblow's accomplishment before acquiring the Scouting Entry Arrow of Light. All prerequisite before advancing into the plaudits of mature scouting. Gary finding Cub Scout guidance was a gratification, the communion with the younger understudies providing a forbearance of a previous era, the adventurous ambitions of an insouciant time of life. His son Robert prevailing with an attitude for accomplishment. The program to encourage elective projects, understandably finding the association of boys not very innovative when left to a decision. Parental guidance was found to be the operative. Gary recognizing Robert's indecision on choosing a project. Likewise he and Keith realized that most of these first undertakings would probably be parental ideas. With Robert's indecision, Gary presented a proposal, having introduced Robert and his sister to the realm of the night sky, utilizing a 5-inch reflector telescope he had purchased through a Spiegel catalog. Submitting his novel idea, a constellation sphere of the night sky, projected by inserting strings of miniature Christmas tree lights through a blackened cork-framed board. The figurative outline of the sky's known constellations illuminated in a darkened room. The two proceeding with this novel idea, using illustrations from a star map. The miniature lights substituting for the stars. The den displaying their projects. Robert's project was by far the most unique, of course that was his dad's opinion. A second opportunity for the young impresarios of the Cub Scout accumulation, a project more attuned to the den members' approval. A 12 by 4 by 4 inch block of pine wood, to be carved in the shape of a racing car, and fitted with the packaged provided axle and wheels. The finished product enabling the boys to enter a competition, entertaining a raised platform drag strip. The Cubs releasing the sculptured models in paired contention, the models racing down the elongated runway, concluding the fastest car in an elimination race. Each participant allowed 2 attempts, Robert first competitive appearance a loss, taking his disappointment in hand ready for the second performance. This time finding his car finishing first, Gary having applied a coating of graphite to the axles, enhancing the model racing expenditure's mobility. Robert's car continued to excel, the overall winner. Gary recognizing, at that age acknowledgement is important but fleeting. Gary was apprehensive about the overnight outing the den was about to experience. He and Robert to journey a mile west of town, then 3 miles north to a campground near the Medicine River, an area employed by the Scouts. Arriving they found Jerry McNamara, the Kiowa District Scout leader in uniform, and expediting the campground's provisions, 3 large tents and a number of smaller canvas shelters providing the overnight accommodations. Roger Robinson, his son Paul a Scout, setting up a spit-mounted already partially cooked pig on a hand-operated rotisserie. The pork endeavor final dispatch to be completed over a grill by the ordained scouts. Gary, having just returned from an expeditionary journey, exploring the Medicine River, when his attention was drawn by a commotion originating from a group of cubs in one of the tents, deserving an investigation. Entering the now empty tent, looking about, suspiciously according its contents, Gary apprehending a magazine emitting from the sleeping bag of John Thomas, not surprised at his find, especially among the ascension of inquisitive boys when billeted together. The encompassing magazine in question, none other than Playboy, retreating outside, deciding to cede his find as undiscovered. Gary concluding the world would be a far better place if all mankind would adhere to this oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.